Well, welcome into the Life Coaching for Men podcast, episode number 69. Hey, great to have you back this week. Hope you've went and checked out my new course. It is launching live next week. So, again, podcast listeners only. You can go in, you can go ahead and sign up for the course. I'm going to give you two free trainings. The course is really a relationship course to build the relationship with the person and those that mean the most to you. I've titled it How Not to Fight with Your Mate. I've titled it How to Uplevel Your Relationship. I've titled it several different things, at least in my mind. But right now it's How Not to Fight with Your Mate. But I tell you, it is 23 packed lessons that will take you through how to up level any relationship you have, any relationship issue you're going through. I teach you how to solve any relationship problem. It's a great course, and it's one of those that you're going to have lifetime access to. So once you sign up, once you're in, then you're in, and so you can go back time and time again and refresh, relook at the videos, rewatch, take notes. There's a lot of supplemental information in there as well. So I encourage you, go to my website, drdarrenwilson.com. It's the first thing that you see. Click right on it. It'll take you right to the page and get in there in the course room with me and let's have a good time together and up level your relationships maybe that you're struggling with today. So I wanted to do something a little different today. I've done this once or twice before, but I thought I would share with you another book that has been pretty impactful in my life. And the book is called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. And it's by Daniel Amen. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Amen, he's the founder of Amen Clinics. And he does a lot of brain scans. That's kind of what they do. They will bring people in from all over the world and they scan their brains and they see what's going on actually inside the brain that is causing right all kinds of different psychological issues. And so it's been fascinating. The whole book is fascinating. And if you've ever seen him on YouTube or if you follow him on Instagram, he does a lot with his wife and they do a lot of neat things. So I would encourage you to follow him. Just an outstanding guy and doing some really cool stuff. And you guys know on the podcast that I love to talk about the brain and what the brain's doing and how we're thinking. And today, in particularly, I want to talk about the Brain Warrior diet that he promotes through his Amen clinics. And this is from this book again, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. And he gives 9 rules of brain healthy eating. And so I'm asked all the time, and I work with clients all the time who ask about diet, and diet and exercise are extremely important to me and my wife. We've been eating pretty organically now for about 4 years, and we've really tried to cut a lot of refined sugar and flour out of our diets. I had some issues a couple years ago where dairy causes my throat to get inflamed, and so I've cut dairy out of my diet for the most part, and so we've really tried to do a great job at eating as clean as we possibly can. And so this is one of those things that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And so I thought I would share this with you today from a biological perspective, from a psychological perspective, from the Amen clinics. And this is what they consider as their 9 rules of brain healthy eating. And again, he calls this the Brain Warrior Diet. And he says, if you're going to eat right, to think right, then it's critical to make sure your food is loaded with the proper nutrients that your body is able to properly digest. And so, over years and years and years of experience, here are the 9 rules that they've come up with. And so I'll go through each rule and I'll just highlight a few things. And I would encourage you to go and you can Google this and you can check him out again on YouTube. But if you're trying to eat healthy, if you're trying to either lose weight or you want to do it just purely from a brain standpoint, where he's saying these are brain healthy foods, this is a brain healthy way to live, to operate, to be in the world, then I would encourage you to Google him and take notes on this and then go back and really dive into what this diet is all about. But worst case scenario, you can take 1 or 2 of these rules and start implementing them into your diet right away. You don't have to wait and try to do all 9 of them. You don't have to try to do 8 of them. You can do 1 or 2 and automatically start to up level what your diet looks like. So let's dive right in. So rule number 1, think high quality calories and not too many of them. So he says, if you have to choose between quality and quantity, go for the quality calories. The smartest strategy is to be both quality and quantity smart. So, he gives an example. One cinnamon roll can cost you 720 calories and will drain your brain, while a 400 calorie salad made of spinach, salmon, organic blueberries, apples, walnuts, and red bell peppers with some oil and vinegar dressing will supercharge your energy and make you smarter. So again, he says, I think of calories like money, and he hates wasting money. So if you're thinking about calories and calories in, calories out, go for the most bang for your buck as far as calories go. And he says if weight is an issue for you, it's a smart idea to know how many calories a day you need to either maintain or lose weight. Makes sense, right? The average active 50-year-old woman needs about 1,800 calories per day. So also he encourages you to keep a food journal. And I've done this with some of my clients, and that's actually tracking everything that goes into your body each and every day. And you track it from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night. And then you can move that to a food protocol where you're actually saying, this is what I'm going to eat today. This is what I'm planning to eat. This is what I'm planning to eat tomorrow. And then you stick to that plan. And that helps you not only eat brain smarter, but it helps you start to lose weight, because now instead of getting that extra cookie or getting that extra dessert, you already have said, no, this is what I'm eating for the week. Maybe I'm going to reward myself on Friday, but throughout the week, there's not going to be any extra sweet. So you actually start to plan that each and every day. And so, part of that too is knowing when you're full. And if you can eat to when you're full instead of eating until, you're stuffed, then that also will make a big difference. And so those are just some things that you can think about as you go along throughout your week to really try to cut those calories. Rule number 2, okay? Don't drink your calories. Your brain is 80% water. That may be fascinating to some of you, but you've seen probably pictures of brains. But again, this guy studies them all of the time. And thinking about your brain being 80% water is pretty phenomenal. But anything that dehydrates it, such as too much caffeine or too much alcohol, decreases your thinking and impairs your judgment. So make sure you drink, the old saying, but make sure you drink at least 8 glasses of water a day. And he makes a comment about a billboard he saw when he was in New York. And the billboard said, "Are you pouring on the pounds? Don't drink yourself fat." And basically saying that on average, Americans now drink 450 calories a day, which is twice as many as we did 30 years ago, which was only 256. And so you have to think about that's an extra 225 calories a day that will put 23 pounds of fat on your body over a year. And so, if you're drinking a lot of sodas, you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're drinking, a lot of things that if you're enhancing your coffee with creamer and that kind of thing, that is drinking your calories. So be very cognizant, be very aware of that. So rule number 2, don't drink your calories. Rule number 3, eat clean protein. So protein helps balance your blood sugar and provides the necessary building blocks for brain health. So it's critically important to help maintain lean muscle mass, which is a real issue, right? Especially as we age. So as much as possible, make sure your protein sources and the rest of your food are clean, which I mentioned earlier. But what does that mean? It means organic, hormone free, antibiotic free, free range, grass fed, right? All of those types of things. And if you're not familiar with those words, again, you can go back and see what those mean. But basically, when you hear free range, you can go right to chickens, right? Are they free ranging chickens? Are they able to just roam around and eat grass, eat from the earth? or are they getting fed something artificial or something that has a lot of chemicals in them? Same thing with grass fed. You can look in the grocery store for grass fed beef, and even better, you can look for grass fed local beef. But make sure it's hormone free. Make sure it's as organic as it can be. Great sources of protein include eggs, fish, wild, not farmed. So you don't want to look for farmed fish. You want to look for wild caught fish, whether it's wild caught salmon, wild caught, whatever. You want it to be wild caught, not farm raised. So again, look for those, right? You can use spinach instead of lettuce. Spinach has a huge nutrient boost. Spinach has a lot of protein. You don't have to get it just from meat. That's a real misnomer too. So you can get your protein from spinach as well. So again, notice that. And he also says it's important to start each day with some type of protein to boost your focus and concentration skills. So very, very interesting as far as that goes too, to start your day with protein, especially that organic protein. So rule number 4, eat smart carbohydrates. Rule number 4, eat smart carbohydrates. So most of you probably know this, but carbs are divided into 2 categories, right? Simple, which includes white breads, cakes, etc., and then complex, whole plant foods like green and starchy vegetables, fruits like blueberries and apples, etc., right? Simple carbohydrates, which have a high glycemic index, cause your blood sugar to spike, right? While complex carbohydrates have low glycemic index and are digest more slowly and are generally accompanied by other nutrients that are higher in fiber. So of course, you know which ones you're supposed to eat more of, right? The simple carbohydrates. So you want to start to look for those things that are, lower in sugar. Anything that has, anything that's bread, anything that's cake, anything that has flour in it is always good to stay away from. And so again, so choose those simple carbohydrates instead of the simple ones. So or excuse me, choose the complex ones instead of the simple ones. So rule number 5, focus on healthy fats. Okay. Fat is not necessarily the enemy. I think a lot of times we hear, advertisements and stuff, stay away from fat, go quote unquote fat free, which can often be the worst thing for you. But fat is not the enemy. Good fats are actually essential to your health. Okay. So you need to have some good fat in there. So you want to eliminate the bad fats, right? So bad fats, foods like pizza, ice cream, cheeseburgers, they fool the brain into thinking that you're full. And most of you have probably done this before, right? You have something like that, you think you're full, and then what happens? You want something automatically again, right? You want to eat that next piece of pizza. You want to eat a little more than just the cheeseburger. You want the fries as well, because it is just fooling your brain. And so you want to focus on healthy fats, especially those that contain omega-3, found in foods like salmon, avocados, walnuts, and leafy green vegetables. So focus on those healthy fats and stay away from the pizza and the cheeseburgers and the ice cream. You'll be in pretty good shape. Rule number 6, eat from the rainbow. Okay. Your diet should have a lot of natural foods and many different colors, such as blueberries, some pomegranates, yellow squash, red bell peppers. Okay. They will boost your antioxidant levels in your body and will help keep your brain young. Now, the key here is natural, okay? Natural rainbow rain colors, not Skittles or jelly beans or M&Ms, right? Because they don't qualify because of all the artificial and all the stuff that they put in them. So rule number 6, eat from the rainbow. Rule number 7, cook with brain healthy herbs and spices to boost your brain. And if you haven't discovered some of these, you really should. We've been cooking with these for years, and they're great. They can add some great stuff to you. Can really help your brain, and they also enhance the taste of the food. Turmeric is huge. Turmeric is found in curry. It contains chemicals that has been shown to decrease um, the plaques in the brain thought to be responsible for Alzheimer's. So turmeric is really big, really important. Saffron is another great one. Scientific evidence shows that rosemary, thyme, and sage help boost memory. Cinnamon has been shown to help attention and blood sugar. Garlic and oregano both help boost blood flow to the brain. And then you can also use ginger, cayenne, and black pepper that will also help boost metabolism and have an aphrodisiac effect. So you get a bonus for that. So again, look for those. Look for turmeric. Look for saffron, some cinnamon, garlic, oregano, ginger, cayenne, and black pepper, and help cook with some brain healthy herbs and spices to boost your brain. So rule number 8: make sure your food is as clean as possible. And this is what I started with, right? As clean as possible. So as much as you can, eat organically grown and or raised foods, because pesticides used in commercial farming can accumulate in your brain, and even though the levels in each food may be low, they can continue to build up in your brain and build up over time. And so it's really important to try to find as many organic products as possible. Now, you may have heard this before, but I don't know if you've seen it kind of broken down like this. I won't go through all of these, but it's something you can Google too, of what to buy as far as organic goes, or what you can get away with non-organic, especially foods that are grown, because of the pesticide residues. And so this is pretty interesting. So here are some things that he recommends to buy organic because they have the highest levels of pesticide residue. So again, you think about the pesticides that are going on the plants, and then they're actually going into your body. So here's some things to think about to start buying organically: celery, peaches, strawberries, apples, blueberries, nectarines, cucumbers, sweet bell peppers, spinach, cherries, collard greens, kale, potatoes, grapes, and green beans. And you think about how those are grown, how the pesticide sticks on them, and then those are things that you should really think about buying organically. Now, he also says, he suggests organic across the board, but you can buy these foods non-organic because they have the least amount of pesticide on them. Again, I think this is very fascinating. When you think about the pesticide world, you also think about how you would peel these fruits and foods, because most of these will have some sort of covering on the outside. For example, you're going to eat an apple or a peach, right from the garden or from the tree. And so obviously it would be important to have those organic. And just to start out here, an avocado, for instance, you have to cut the avocado and then you eat the inside of it. So the outside of it would be more protected if it has a pesticide. So here's some things that he says that have the lowest levels of pesticide, so you can get away with not buying organic: onions, avocado, frozen sweet corn, pineapples, mangoes, asparagus, frozen sweet peas, bananas. Again, they had the thing on the outside: cabbage, broccoli, papaya, watermelon, grapefruit, eggplant, cantaloupe. So those are some things that you can think about as well when you're thinking about organically. Here's the other thing: fish is a great source, right, of a healthy protein, but it's important to consider the toxicity in some fish, and that's why it's so important for the most part to get something that is wild caught. But he gives you a few things here. The larger the fish, the more mercury it may contain. So go for a smaller variety. So instead of getting the huge piece of fish, go for the smaller one. Um, and then also, from the safe fish choices, eat a fairly wide variety of fish, preferably those high in omega-3s, like wild Alaskan salmon, anchovies, if you like anchovies, and then Pacific halibut. And he says, wild fish is generally safer than farm fish, but not always. And here's a good website for you: www.seafoodwatch.org, seafoodwatch.org, for a list of the safest fish to eat. So pretty fascinating there, and the types of fish you should stay away from. And then Rule number 9. So the last one here, rule number 9 is if you're having trouble with your mood, energy, memory, weight, blood sugar, blood pressure, make sure to eliminate foods that might be causing trouble, especially, listen up, especially wheat and other gluten containing grains or food, as well as dairy, soy, or corn. Okay. And he starts out, did you know that gluten can literally make some people crazy? There are scientific reports that people have had psychotic episodes when they're exposed to gluten. Now, it doesn't mean that that's happening to you, but I always encourage people now, if they have something that comes up, some sort of um, issue that's coming up in them. I mean, for me, I can see things that, I'll itch at times and I'm like, I wonder if I've had some dairy in something because I've cut dairy out. If you cut dairy out, it will do wonders to your skin. You will see improved energy levels. There are just a lot of things that really can go right when you start to cut some dairy and gluten for that matter out. Anything with flour and sugar in it, also. So those are nine rules that they have. That's the Brain Warrior Diet. I think it's fascinating. Let me give you a couple others. He gives you a list of some superfoods, and maybe you will know these as well. So I'm going to give you some superfoods and then we'll wrap up today. But let me go over these 9 rules again, right? Rule number 1, think high quality calories and not too many of them. Rule number 2, drink plenty of water and not your calories. Rule number 3, eat high quality lean protein throughout the day. Rule number 4, eat smart carbohydrates, low glycemic, high fiber. Rule number 5, focus your diet on healthy fats. Rule number 6, eat from the rainbow, right? All of the colors, natural colors, not artificial. Rule number 7, cook with brain healthy herbs and spices to boost your brain. Rule number 8, make sure your food is as clean as possible. And then rule number 9, if you're having trouble with mood, energy, memory, start with gluten, look at wheat, right? Look at dairy, look at soy, and then look at corn. Corn has a lot of pesticides in it, especially some just naturally raised corn if it's not organic. So those are the 9 brain healthy eating rules from the Amen Clinic. So just a few superfoods here that I wanted to mention. Almonds are a great superfood. Cacao, raw cacao, chocolate loaded with antioxidants, cashews in moderation, chia seeds, coconut, sesame seeds, lentils, chickpeas, acai berries. If you guys out there love acai bowls like I do, acai berries are huge. Apples, avocados, blackberries. Anytime you can eat a berry, it's always good. Cherries, grapefruit, kiwi, some vegetables that are great: asparagus, bell peppers, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, some garlic, some oils that you can use. Coconut oil, you can cook with coconut oil if you've never tried that. You can also cook with grapeseed oil, obviously olive oil. And then organic eggs, lamb, salmon, and then teas. Some green tea is great for you. So if you're interested in this, I would encourage you to Google the Brain Warrior Diet, look up Dr. Amen and his clinics. But this book is fascinating. Again, change your brain, change your life. So hopefully for those of you out there who are looking to get healthy, who are looking to live a healthier lifestyle, hopefully these have been some great tips for you today. Again, fascinating book, fascinating diet. So I hope you'll check out the course. If you want to up-level your relationship, go to my website, drdarrenwilson.com. Look forward to seeing you in the course room. If you need my help, reach out to me, drdarrenwilson@gmail.com. Can't wait to see you back here next week. Take care, everybody.